All right. So since Sue, I'm sorry, yours is the first one here.
Okay,
So if you don't mind,
that's okay.
um, so you have um, two of them. Um, so which one are like do you think you're gonna stick with? First, like the top one or the bottom one? The one with like the funky font or straight text?
I really like the cleanliness of the top one.
Mhm.
I'm thinking that maybe I should just make a logo for it with the funky text, and then everything else is
Pretty
the
clean.
the clean railway.
Okay, so it's like a
I'm
combination of the two.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now.
Okay. Well, I like the color choices that you have, like the color palette. It works really, really well together. I mean, because it's like so primary. Because you have the blue and the red and the yellow, and
I didn't
then the
even
yellow can be seen. What?
I didn't even think about that.
Uh, um, yeah, but I mean, it's actually probably one of the best ones to go with. You know what I mean? Like when in doubt, it's like everywhere. But you did like kind of tone it down a little bit. Like the yellow is not just a pure yellow. It's kind of like this like mustardy kind of thing. So like it's not like super vibrant, but it's like the colors themselves, like with the combination of it, it's bright, it's vibrant. Um, and it can be seen like in the pictures too, like the people dancing, like the guy's shirt is like almost the same exact
Yeah.
color as what you picked for that. So,
Thank you.
Nate, you got anything?
No, I mean I like it. I like the neon lights texture. It was kind of cool. Even though I didn't see yours before I did mine, I was like, okay, at least I was on the right page with texture there. But yeah, it speaks well. It speaks well of your thought process. I kind of like the funky text all the way around, but I can understand the cleanliness of it. Um, but it looks good.
I like that you said like the funky text, and I do like the fact that like Sue, you were thinking about having the funky text be just for your logo, and then like the straight text for everything else, because I think that would tie in really, really nicely.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, your image choices are really good, and the way you incorporated them into your color scheme is really nice. Um,
Just looking at the vision board, because I tried to, add in a bit of what I am thinking for the voice and tone. What would you guys say that the voice right now is for it? If you had to create like a profile.
I'd say the voice is fun. It's energetic, um, but at the same time, it's not like oh my god, I said the word. It's not like overwhelmingly like in your face like
Mhm.
entertainment wise. It's like this like kind of casual um vibe that you have going on, but it's like it's casual, but it's also fun because there's a lot of things going on.
Mhm.
Am I somewhat close?
Yeah, I think it's like a suburb um, feel. Like I get more of that college fun. Like young life would be something that I would think of just looking at it. You know.
Okay. Okay, because my area is like predominantly for millennials, like predominantly millennials live there. So I'm really trying to capture like a good range of the,
Mm.
yeah, because you have the really young millennials and you also have the ones that are already like entering the 40s, so I'm trying to get a good range, but also the community there is really Hispanic as well. So I'm trying,
Yeah, that
and
definitely comes through. That
That's
comes
yeah,
through.
salsa.
Yep.
yeah, and I'm trying to get the energy of the of the culture there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. It's really good. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Means a lot.
All right. Shall we move on? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Um, Depending on how we're going through this, because in the chat, am I still the second one in the chat then? We'll just, or is it Nate? So what do you want to do?
I think that Nate is the second one in the chat,
All
like
Oh,
right.
okay.
on the Skype chat, and then
Yep.
you're the second one on
I
the
know.
chat.
So let's just go on the Skype one. So we have
Okay.
Nate's.
Okay.
Nate, I like that you like created your own logo, that you had time for that already. That
Yes.
looks nice.
For real. And I definitely do
Yeah.
get a vibe of like, I get multiple vibes. I get a vibe of, family, and I get a vibe of the nightlife ranging from, like a lot of the party life
Mm-hmm.
to more like cafe scenes, open mic nights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from there.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I'm
lot.
getting. Sorry, go.
No, I was gonna say it's a lot of that in Niles Village. So yeah. So that's good that that came through.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like this it's again like going back to what Sue said. It's this mix of the nightlife and the neon and more of like that adult centered kind of entertainment. But then like on
Mm-hmm.
the right side of your vision board, it's softened. It's like a little softer. And even just like with your word choice too, cultural, dependable, inspiration, and family. Um, so, I mean, from this, I get like that like 50-50. It's like, oh, there's a lot for like adults to go out and do. However, during the daytime, I'm going to see a lot of families going out and doing a lot of daytime activities.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because we have a lot of diversity in the area that I chose. And the crazy thing is I just moved to Chicago like 2 months ago, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning a whole lot about the area myself. So this is really cool. But what we've seen is definitely a lot of families, in the daytime at the park. Just they have like a little skate park in the area. But they do a lot of festivals. Would it be in the summertime? We had a lot of different events where people could come together, live music and stuff like that. So
Well, that's cool.
kind of wanted to show all of that. And then we're close to the water, so it kind of helps out too.
Yeah. So can you explain your logo just like a tiny bit of like where that
Well, what
symbolism
I was
came from?
kind of thinking of, and I mean, you can see it in my very poor drawing that I put in our chat. That is not my gift at all. Is I kind of wanted a plug to go through all of the different aspects of Niles Village and plug into a fluorescent light. So that would be like the logo. It's like that circular thing. Um, but it was just a thought. I didn't know if it would work or not, but I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, I mean, now that you're saying like trying to think of the fluorescentness of it, like I can kind of see that. It's just really organic. So like when you said that Niles Village is located near the water, all of a sudden instantly I was just like, oh, that makes sense with the logo because it's like organic
Yeah.
and blue. Like,
I was also thinking about like coffee stains. But
Mm,
it tied in,
yeah.
with the voice that I got, which was, the wide range of the nightlife where you can go out to the party scene or you can go, to like the open mic nights and stuff like that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Good stuff. I didn't even think I was thinking of any of that.
no,
Not
but it's
even
nice. I
a
like it.
little.
No, I like it. And I love that. Like, I'm just going through like all the texture pictures. Like, so Sue, you had brick as texture. Nate, you have brick as texture. I also have
Hmm.
brick as texture in mine. Like there's a little bit of a theme going on, but because we all have like really urban landscapes too, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Cool.
Hey guys, if you see my eyes wandering, I'm answering emails at the same time, so I apologize.
Oh, okay, no, you're fine.
I have like multiples. I don't know, you guys like, is he like cross-eyed? But I'm trying to multitask it.
No, you're all good.
Cool.
You're all good. Are we good to move on to Emily's?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I get so much of a sense of tradition, but also like there's like you really got like a good essence of, like family, but also, you can see people like going out for drinks and the shopping and everything. So I feel like you get a really wide range for what this place is about. Like they value tradition, they value the religion, but they're also experiencing the modernness that today offers. And I really like your color palette. I really
Thank
do.
you.
Like the that the brighter red is complemented with the deeper red.
Yeah, that was a tough one for me to like try to put together too, because I was like, I wanted the red and the white, because like that's the Polish flag, and I was like, I'm trying to find something that complements that without like overpowering it. So I'm glad that came through like
Oh,
fairly successful.
I think it goes really well. And I
Okay.
think that
Yeah.
the beige tones, both of them, because you have two, I think they balance everything out really well.
Yeah.
So it even gives it like a little bit almost like of an earthy feel. Like it calms down everything a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that too. I see when I look at the pictures, I see a lot of the family heritage, tradition. I love the picture with like the restaurant. It almost looks like a total family eating together, which I know is probably different people, but it looks like a big family style dinner. Um, but I like the color palette too. Those colors are dope. And it kind of bounces off when you're looking at the brick texture and all of that. It really plays well to that theme. So good stuff. I like the headings, um, all of that. It kind of gives that boldness of the little Poland. It keeps the strength of what you're trying to portray. So
Hmm.
good pictures with the food choices as well. Because it'd been crazy to do, you know, more playful food, but you're making a bolder statement. So the food choices that you showed was really, um, really good on that.
Thank you. Yeah, the logo, I mean, I want it to be like for this, I mean, I might tweak it a little bit more. But the little Poland in red is the same as like the heading that I have. It's the same font. And I just added like a little underline to it because I was just like, oh, I don't want to like go overboard over with it. Because it is a very, again, like traditional place. So I didn't want to like do anything super, super crazy with it. Because the traditions there are like um, super important. You know what I mean? So I was like trying to play into that traditional font um, kind of style of it.
You can definitely see that with the use of the sans serif you chose, of the
Mm,
serif typeface that you chose.
yes.
Sorry, I'm
No,
thinking
you're
of
fine.
so many things.
No, you're fine. I do have a sans in there though, like a font, but
Oh
I
yeah,
just
I
yeah
definitely saw it, caught my eye. Yeah.
yeah
But using a serif as I think as your main font choice for the logo gives it really that traditional feel because the sans serifs are more modern anyway.
mm, yeah awesome. All right, where are we for time? Do we know? Because I know this can't be over. Oh, I see it in the corner. Okay, because I
23.
had
I'm probably
okay.
gonna edit out like the first. I'm probably gonna edit out like the first like 3 minutes while we were prepping.
I know, right? Okay, good.
And all of my picture take-ins and stuff. Yeah, let's get that out of there.
That would be funny. We insert the bloopers.
Yes.
At the end. That's at the end. That's when I'll move it over to.
All right, now let us move into the storyboards.
Okay.
Because then this is like the part that we can go in and like break down from our reading that we did.
Mhm.
Alrighty, so starting. Sue, could you insert my a screenshot of my
Oh, I can see it.
You can
I can
you
go in
see
the
the storyboard?
class. Yeah, in the
Oh,
class I
that's right.
can
We all
go
posted it
into that.
there. That's
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
cool, cool.
Duh. Okay. Information. Nope. Cool. I forgot we can do that. I'm like so used to just submitting straight to the professor at this point.
Yeah. It's like 2 or 3 months of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nate, is yours in here?
It should be. Let me see. It might.
Because I'm in
It
the
might
discussion.
not be.
Ooh.
Did you send it to the professor, like as feedback
I
in the
did.
area? Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's not going to show.
probably did.
Okay. But we have it on
The
Skype
Skype
here, so
chat.
that's okay. So we have yours there. So, alrighty, let us do. Sue, you want to be super lucky again and go first?
Sure.
Because you're like first for everything right now. I'm posting. Okay. All right. So it took me a while to like actually go through all your notes. You took so many notes, which is like so obvious to like what like the research that you did and like you're really trying to portray your research into your storyboarding. So do you want to like go ahead and explain a little bit of like your thought process and like maybe some of the research that really stood out to you?
I don't even think that I did that much writing in my cards. I think that you and I did the same exact amount. You have so many descriptions in yours, but I don't I because of the fact that I really want to capture, the feel of the community that I chose, and I want it to be energetic. I feel like I can push. I feel like I want to find a way to push the limit of showing just a stat, even though the photo can motion and excitement and feeling. I kind of want to add in flat line motion graphics above a few of the photos
Mm-hmm.
to accentuate areas. And I also want to, sorry, I want to also play with the location of my community because of the fact that it's located in New York City. So I was thinking about starting off with the opening of like New York, Times Square. That's what everybody thinks about when they think of New York. And then spending like 3 to 5 seconds on that, like not too much, and then having a train pass by in front of the screen completely,
Mm-hmm.
having the voice of the train that when you ride the trains they're like, oh, next stop, da da da.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then opening up to the logo, which will say Washington Heights in the funky text, and that would be the start of that. And then from
Okay.
there I would want to show, like the images flooding into the screen, like from one side and then bouncing to the other side and things like that. And each one of them would be
Going
complemented with
well.
moving lines. I know, I feel like I'm overshooting
Look like
myself,
yeah.
but
No,
Um,
it's good that you have those ideas though, because you're thinking about the movement and the motion and how those images are gonna incorporate and like how you're gonna try to tie in that whole theme.
yeah, and then I'm
Um,
also thinking about going back and taking even more pictures because all of the pictures that I used in the vision board are the ones that I took. But I'm like, I need more. So and for the color, I think that the color is the one that I'm most excited about because I know exactly what I want to do for color already.
mhm.
And in like every block in Washington Heights, they have like little carts that they sell ice creams that are like this big and they're like shaved ice. So I and they're each one of them is a different color. So I was thinking about having them like speed into the screen, slow down, maybe turn a little bit so that there's like a design on the cup. And above that there would be like the description of the color, so it'd be like RGB CMYK dot color, and then it would speed out and into the next one as well.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so I definitely really want to try to play as much as I can with motion.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Um, were there any like articles that we read that like stood out to you to like really give you that inspiration towards that, or I mean,
Yeah.
it's okay. Sorry, no, go.
No, you're good. I cannot remember it off the top of my head, but you know what? It's in the annotated bibliography, which is a good thing we did it.
Yeah, right.
But my dog's at the door and he's like, "Let me in, please."
My cat is too.
um, for me, the article that stood out to me the most from what the professor recommended for us to read was the 12 basic principles of animation in motion design. Because of
Yeah.
the fact that it's been so many years since I've done anything motion design related,
Yeah.
animation related, period. So it reminded me a lot of, the basic concept that I had learned, which ones exist. And then also, um, the one that I had looked up myself to help me with the storyboarding process was how to make a storyboard, and I found that one on EBSCO.
Where'd you find that? Sorry.
EBSCO.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise, most of my research was honestly, it kind of became a little competitive for me because of the fact that I was kind of looking into like how people do motion graphics for other areas of New York,
Yeah.
and I was trying to really find like a sweet section where I could make Washington Heights seem completely different from
So you had like already looked up like other examples that exist in the
yeah,
New York area to compare it to. That's cool.
yeah,
Good.
yep. That's why
Um,
that's why I was like, oh, in the beginning I'll start with like your typical New York, what you think of, like overhead Empire State Building,
yeah.
will fly through everything, but not spend more than like 3 seconds on it because that's been so overdone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
But
almost
I'm
like
like,
a fake out. So you're like starting it as like generic and then you go and you're like just kidding, like we're going to go here. So no, I like that. Yeah.
exactly. And then the green from my vision board, the green tone that I had chosen, it's a little bit random because it wasn't on any of the like suggested color palettes or anything.
Hmm.
But I chose it because it'll work well with the if I add the train in crossing in front of the screen because the train stations, the entrances are all like that shade of green.
Um,
Yeah, so everything ties in together. I promise. There's a
that's
lot.
cool. No, I like that. No, I like that. Did you check out the article, like the storyboarding basics that was on our platform?
I probably did.
Yeah, okay. No, I was just wondering because you were said you were like looking up like the basics on like how to storyboard and stuff, and like me going through this when I saw this article, it was like so like nostalgic for me because it's like everything that like, of course, when I studied my animation, it was like so much more traditional. I did like character animation, like hand drawn, 2D, like you do one frame, you take a picture, you put it to the computer, you do another
Yeah, no, my
drawing, you take a picture and you put it to the computer. So like this to me it was familiar and stuff. And so like in order to take like animation and then put it as a graph, a harder concept, I feel.
Yeah, no, my professor, when she was teaching me animation, I took two different animation classes. One of them was video and animation. And that one really was one that went into motion graphics. But the plain animation course that I took, my professor was the lead animator on Courage the Cowardly Dog. So she was,
Oh
so she
wow.
That's
was the
so
highest
sick.
and I was like,
So
I'm
jealous.
as a celebrity, I'm so excited.
I'm gonna fangirl just a little bit, but like not enough to, yeah.
I did all my
That's cool.
fangirling. I still fangirl even though it's been like 5-6 years.
That's cool.
But yeah, no,
Yeah,
she
but
definitely taught me the process of storyboarding then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get to our messages here.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, no, I mean, again, the depth of which you're like your thought process is, and it's showing like, and you're really trying to take like every little aspect and like make it like this has a reason for it, which is really really nice. It's not just like, oh, I thought this was cool, so I'm going to throw it in there. Like you're like really thinking about the process and like why it's there, which
Yeah.
is good.
Sorry, my dog's really like scratching at the door and everything.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Let me in.
I'm like, oh.
Alrighty, let's do.
Are there any worries that you guys think I should have? Like, do you guys feel that like I was missing anything or I could have done anything better in the storyboarding process? I feel like I definitely didn't do enough sketches. I wrote down like my reasoning or my idea for everything, but I don't feel that I did enough of a sketch portrayal of that.
Oops, um, I mean,
I think it's clear enough. I mean, if you
yeah.
had a client and you were trying to explain this to the client, I think it's clear enough. One, because of the way you did it, they can move pieces around,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't necessarily have just kind of like what I did, 6 boxes. I mean, they're kind of stuck, With this, you can say, okay, well, I want this to show up first and then this to show up second, because you have even explanation in writing, you can still visually see it because the writing is so plain and so, matter of fact, it's like you can't miss it, So it's nothing that if I was the client, it would be nothing I would say, I don't quite understand what you were thinking. Um, but it gives me enough room, or the client enough room to say, I want to switch something out. I think you would be fine with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I like your process of how you actually did it on like little cards too, because it's like
You
so
can see that
interchangeable,
I
like
started
to do the
numbering.
order.
You can see that I started numbering them, and then I was
Yeah.
like, no,
Yeah, no, I saw, yeah.
I definitely ended up like moving them around a little bit. I was like, no,
Yeah.
I want this second.
Yeah. It's like that post-it note concept. Just, and I started thinking about that too. I said, I should do mine on like post-it note. But seeing the fact that I can't draw at all, I can get away with 6 boxes. So let's do this, and I'll just have to talk mines out. But yeah, I like that. I like the cards,
Yeah.
the index card concept.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
saw it on one of the articles the professor had recommended. I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna make the most use of this.
That's good though. I like that. Um, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to go next?
We can go to yours.
Okay.
Yeah, because
All right.
I know where yours is. I mean, I
Yeah,
know
I
where
was gonna say,
Lemuel is
yeah.
too. I'm already on the FSO chat.
Okay. Cool.
Like I said before, I think you and I have the same amount of description for each of our each of our scenes.
Yeah.
So there's not really any room for someone to be like, oh, I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because your vision is here, it's all laid out.
Yeah, I mean, like that article I was telling you about earlier, from, let me find it. Like the storyboarding basics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, like I had like a lot of like nostalgia when I was like looking at it, but then I was also trying to take like the terms because in one of the other articles it was mentioned it's like, it's motion graphics is like that combination of graphic design and animation. So like they share the same terms. So I was like really trying to like use some of those terms from that article in
Mm-hmm.
here just to like, to practice the terminology again because I haven't used this in forever. So there's probably easier ways for me to describe something, and it's just I haven't found it yet. But yeah, it was really just me trying to focus on like the basics of animation, and I feel like maybe sometimes my storyboard shows like too much traditional animation just because my background actually is supposed to be hand animated. It's supposed to be
Mhm.
like black and white, squiggly. Like, have you ever seen Ed, Ed and Eddie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so so the outline, the line work, how it's like always constantly moving.
Yeah.
So that was like my um it
Inspiration.
like yeah, inspiration towards the background. So it's supposed to be like a hand drawn, like kind of journal-esque
Oh,
uh background, and then you'd have the images that come over it.
okay.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, because and it's hard to like translate when you're just hand drawing everything. You're like, but there's real images here too, I promise.
I mean, I originally I thought that they were going to be like real images, that you've taken or something or other. But now that you said that you're gonna have like that moving line from Etta and Eddie, now I'm even more excited. I'm like, what? And it
So
does give it, kind of like that traditional sense because of the fact that it is, like the basics of animation
mhm,
that
mhm.
you
Mhm.
lay one sheet over the other, so they're your
And I
thought
love it though. I love it. It's a pain in the butt, but I love it.
it works out well.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna get him out of
Okay,
there.
go get your dog.
Let him in.
It's okay. All right, all right, he's good. So yeah.
Nate, what you got for me?
Um, I mean, I pretty much agree. It flows well. Um, Now I'm trying to visualize like some of the close-ups and kind of like how you're talking, moving from scene to scene.
Hmm.
Um, so like the number nines, like how does that come into play? What does that look like? Is that a real person or is that an animated person?
That I haven't actually decided yet. Just because, like, if I was
Okay.
to do a real person, like, I would actually have to go and like cut up the image to like make things move. Which again, it would
Oh,
kind of do like
okay.
that journal like stitched together almost kind of feel, which would work. In my head, I originally had it as hand drawn. Because I really did want that mix of like again that hand drawn and images. So like that one isn't decided yet, but you're supposed to
Mm,
have like that medium shot of like the store front
right.
that just has the font on it, and as she walks by, the text is revealed of
Ah,
what the fonts are for the brand.
okay.
And
Yeah.
then I was gonna leave it there for like a couple seconds, just so you can read it, and then transition over to the next thing. So,
Did it.
but that was a good question though, because I really haven't even figured that out yet. I was like, I know I want this person walking by because she's like almost like a like a semi transition.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but good
I think
question
that
though.
No,
I
but
think that with like a quick like up and down kind of movement, you can kind of get like a simulation of the image walking. you know, like, because when you walk, you kind of do have like a little bit of a bounce in your step.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do your little nutty lines above her if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the explanations are awesome. There's no, confusion as far as what's next and what you're thinking. So from a client standpoint, I think they can fully understand, the message that you're trying to bring out. So, good
Cool.
stuff. We should just look over minds and just go to the next.
Oh no.
I cannot be that lucky, huh?
All
I think I
right.
need to take some animation classes or something.
You should though. They're so fun.
They really are. You learn so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you look at it and then you like look at like everything that happens in like daily life and you're like, oh, like that makes sense because this actually happens. And
You definitely become a
Yeah.
way more animated person. Like you could already be an animated person, but like
yeah.
to really like express everything you do,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
that way.
Well, I will look into that because I'm fascinated by it, and I wish I knew how to do it, the right way. So
It's definitely a fun time. It's funny because like while I do like my story journal for the week, like whenever I'm doing faces, I'll make the facial expression that I'm trying to make or whatever emotion. I try to
yeah,
make it myself. And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like
Yeah, I'm
just
fine. I'm just trying to, yeah.
I'm just trying
Or
to think
like,
how you would look at me doing this face.
yeah.
right,
Or
right.
like you're trying to get like a pose, like a
Yeah,
certain pose done, and you're just like standing in front of the mirror for like a
yep,
good 5 minutes trying to figure
yep.
it
You're like,
out.
"All right, this goes here."
Yep. But hey, we're artists, so
Yeah,
we can do that kind of stuff. It's
yeah,
fine. You're gonna be
yeah,
like, it's my job. It's fine.
yeah. It's what I do for a living.
Alrighty. And Nate. I have to turn my screen.
I don't know how to
Uh,
do my screen either, so that's why my face is turned.
I know. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, I wanted to give you guys something hard to look at.
Cool.
Maybe maybe
Like,
looking
dude, you
at it
gotta work
upside
for
down. Yeah,
it.
looking at it upside down might bring a little life to it. So, I will explain my thought, and
Yeah.
then you guys can kind of. So she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna need help with this." So, um, our area is like really diverse, right? So what I wanted to do was show the connection of the community, and so I have that plug, and so what the plug would do is motion through the different scenes, so like the park scene, and then you have like
I love that
I guess it'd be
metaphor.
I guess it would be helpful if I pulled it up myself. Um, yeah, so you would have the park scene, you have like the food and all of the other different aspects there. But while it's going through, it's actually spelling the word diversity. So it plugs into the Niles at the end, and that's what lights up. So that logo lights up as the diversity of Niles is what plugs us all together, because we're so different. So
So the
I don't know if
plug,
I
so as the plug's going along, like you're gonna zoom out and it's gonna like be diversity and then plug into
yes.
the. So
Yeah.
cool.
So I think I got that from the one of the videos that we had, and he was showing how the fly could make the he did the fly, and then he did like the box and all of that, and so he
Yeah.
did the animation of it. So I was like, that would be so dope to have it kind of go through the plug, go through it, and kind of zoom out of it as it's plugging in, and then you see diversity light up with Niles Village. So yeah, that's what I'm attempting to do.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember. I'm like looking for that article right now because that's when, as you like described that, I was like, wait,
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about. So I'm trying to find it.
and I'm thinking it was the Linda, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was I don't know if it was the Linda video. Oh, ah, let me see.
Oh, then we're thinking of different things then. Um, I was thinking actually, I think it's the motion graphics and the art of abstract. because you're taking you're taking, like, again, what I said, the metaphor, you're taking the idea that doesn't really
Mm,
have a physical form, you're trying
right.
to plug everything together, and you're like, oh, well, like, let me, like, actually literally think of it as a plug. And so you're taking this abstract idea and you're making it a visual, you're making it like a symbolism.
Right.
um
Your plug also has the potential to, you can use like such a wide variety of different scenes as long as you have the plug in there. As long as
Mm-hmm.
you know it snakes through, it connects it all together. And
yeah.
I'm thinking of like the Chef Boyardee commercials, whenever you saw the can rolling around through like all these different things. So, just my thought process. I know it's weird.
So did you say your images in the background, are those gonna be like actual images? Are you gonna do like videography with it, or?
I'm thinking of doing like live, like a mixture between the two. So like the
Okay.
park, I was thinking, it was funny because Professor said it's nothing sadder than seeing an empty swing.
Yeah.
So I was like, probably won't be an empty swing this time. So I'll probably get like some actual families, the diversity of the families that show up at the park, try
Yeah.
to videotape them, and then videotape the kids that do the skate park, and try to make that flow together somehow. But like with the restaurants, it may be just more still pictures, and you know,
Yeah.
uh,
You can even
so
do like
it'd be
like
a
a
mixture.
collage of
Yeah,
that. Like you said, like all the different pictures, like have it snaking through like a collage of pictures, maybe.
yeah,
You could also do like a stop motion, but not too stop motion. Like you could
True.
kind of piece it together, and like if you want to, I think you can like crop out like a dish, let's say, and like have it like uh, pause as it moves
hmm,
across the screen,
okay,
and incorporate the chord in there as well.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I like
The
that
stop
idea
motion
too.
it is the video form.
You have to
Good
add our names in the
animation.
credit.
Yeah, exactly. I got you. Yeah, but that was my whole thought behind it. So
But that's a really, really good, like,
Oh yeah,
deeper thought.
definitely.
Yeah. No, that's good. I like that.
Also, I mean, you can, the only thing that I am a little bit worried about, maybe that's just because I don't get the full concept in my head. It's the spelling out diversity as you go throughout
hmm,
the games. Um, because they're, I don't know. I feel like you can just kind of like hold that off maybe until like right before the logo presents itself, and you can have
okay,
maybe you can have like different chords from like each scene come together, plug in, spell out diversity, and then plug in all together to the logo. That's
okay,
just that's just me though, because I think that if you break it apart, I'm not sure that like if you have like a D in the first scene, I in the next scene, I'm not sure that it'll
hmm,
be like even. Some may have like two letters, some might have one might have three,
okay,
which would be okay too.
gotcha.
Like there's no reason to have like that difference. There's no reason to not have that difference, but more idea, more idea.
I got you. I got you. No, I like that. I like that because I could show like different breaks in between the scenes, and then have them all kind of like magnetically come together in like that last scene. So that makes sense because I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure people would be like, well, why is it? Make the mind think. Why is it breaking apart? And then at the end, how it all comes together, be like, he was spelling something. So I
Yeah.
got you. Makes
And then
sense.
Yeah.
it's also like a metaphor for like all the different parts that make up the community coming together, presents
Mm-hmm.
the city, and then the logo. That's what I'm. That's my thought process.
Gotcha.
We haven't discussed sound yet, have we?
Oh no, we have not.
Oh no. All right, Sue, quickly, how are you gonna do sound in yours?
I'm not going to use narration because I think the narration is too formal of a
Yeah.
podcast. I think that my brand is so casual. I'm definitely going to use music, and I'm exploring like, what's the song that fits the community the best. That's what I'm
Hmm.
trying to think. I may have like I said, the train voice overhead, and also like a crowd of people speaking definitely Spanish and English, words being
Oh,
used.
okay. See,
Yeah,
I feel like we have like very similar
I think so too.
ideas
I
because
felt
well,
so
because
about
we're both like dealing with like really like ethnically rich
yeah,
areas, like so like that makes yeah,
yeah,
it's good though. Yeah, but no, I agree with you on the narration part because it does feel too formal, and I mean like we don't have any real people in there either. We don't have a spokesperson,
yeah.
so
Mhm.
I mean, like I kind of created like a mini profile for like a person to have the voice and tone of my brand. And I'm thinking of like a Hispanic woman in her late 20s, early 30s. That's what I'm thinking.
mhm.
But I'm not sure how often I want to present her either. Like I haven't decided on that factor yet. Like I feel like it's more of like that older friend, kind of motherly tone, big sister type of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the more the personality that I kind of want to show in my stuff.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, no, but again, I feel like we have like the same kind of like sound, where we have the background music.
Yep.
So like, it's like our audience is being heard, but then I'm also gonna have like environmental sounds. So
Yep.
like, for example, like I'm assuming for you it's the train, you know what I mean? Like the
Mm-hmm.
train coming and you're gonna have the sound. And then for me, it's like that little bakery. It's like basically anytime like there's I have like an animated uh anything happening. So like for the bakery, the door's opening, so I'm gonna have like that ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's like an
Mm.
actual environmental sound that like people would hear. They're not gonna hear the music, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. So you definitely be playing with diegetic and not.
Yeah, I was gonna say the word, and I was like, I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it all wrong. So,
That's right, but it's okay.
but yes, what you just said. And then
What?
Nate, how are you gonna do sound?
I think I'm gonna do probably just music, but it will be. Uh, I'm thinking music, but then to get the feel of like the park and stuff, use like the sound of the actual park, So trying to find something that meshes well with that, to where you can hear the kids and maybe some of the different languages that make up our community. Because of course, if they're talking, they're going to be talking in their native language, which is most of the time that they do. So
Yeah.
that's going to help with the diversity of it. But then I may try to find different musics that represent the different cultures that's actually in our community too.
So like each frame that you have, or like each scene where the things going through it is going to be a different culture.
I want to try to do it that way
Okay.
if I can, or at least show like a variety of cultures within those frames, you know. So I don't know. I'm still thinking.
Yeah. Have you done GarageBand at all? Have you like played around with that?
Yeah, yeah. GarageBand, Logic. So
Oh,
the
okay.
music aspect, I'm good with.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
the other stuff.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
So
because I wouldn't do like a total like change from like each scene to each scene because I was like there's just too much separation even though you have this thing
correct.
trying to weave it together. If you just like make like one track like on GarageBand like
Yeah.
a bass and then you add like the different elements to it that
Oh
changes
yes.
throughout the frames. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, so
Yeah.
like the music production is what my degree is in, from Full Sail. So I got that
Ah,
piece
so
of it.
okay, so I'm like probably sound
Yeah.
like a big moron to you right now.
No, 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 no. You're absolutely just confirming what was already in my head. I'm like, oh
Okay.
yeah, I can go this route. So when it comes to the music and voiceovers, I'm cool. When it comes to all the other visual stuff, is where I'm still trying to make it connect, because I probably know more about the music than I do about how to sync all of that in with the videos and the photos and stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I had an idea, and actually, I don't know, maybe you can help me out with this. So I was gonna take polka music, but I was gonna, and my boyfriend's a musician, so I was like, can you do this? and I was gonna ask him to like add like to take the track, slow it down like just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not as like because folk music's very like energetic. Just slow it down ever so slightly, and then just add like a little bit of like a beat to it, like a modern beat
Yeah,
to
you could
it.
do that, and
I
definitely
think that would work well.
I know I
you
was
could do
trying
a
to do
time.
it, but he's like, I can't do it. He's like, I don't know
The
how. So I don't
I
what
think
know.
it's just the
program?
music that's off-putting for him,
Well,
but I
because
think
he said the because I would actually buy the file. I was gonna get it from iTunes. He's like
Mm-hmm.
I can't strip it down. He's like it's like one condensed file. He's like I can't do anything with it. I don't know.
You could do like a time lapse on it if you have like Logic. You could probably even do it in GarageBand now too.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
it's more like a time lapse, time warp, if you will, and you can back it in and out as far as you want. DJs do it. That's how they do
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was
They'll
saying. I
use
was like, you should be able
Logics.
to, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll see if I can find some research or something and shoot it over to you,
Oh, that'd be so great.
and then that way you can check it out. And worst case scenario, just shoot me the file and I'll shoot it back to you.
Awesome. Look at this
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
We all have to credit each
Because
other now on our things.
yeah, because if I need a birthday card drawn for my kids, I'm gonna shoot it over to you.
You got
Be like,
it.
Dad, you cannot draw. Do not do this ever again. No, but seriously, if you can't do it or you can't find somebody to do it, just let me know. I can. It's easy. It's not gonna take long at all.
Okay. Alrighty. Do we have any like final thoughts? Because I feel like we're running into like that hour period.
nothing from me really.
No, I'm good. You guys just reminded me, so I just posted my stuff in the discussion and not in the feedback. So hopefully I'll get credit for that eventually. So I don't know. I'm when I'm traveling, I'm like in the airport sometimes, like literally posting my assignments. It is last week was just bananas for me. So
That was a lot of work
uh,
though, too. I will say, like last week, I feel like the workload like was just a little intimidating.
It definitely was. Last week I went
yeah,
out on a hike 3 hours away from where I live, and I took my laptop with me, and I took my cell phone, and I took extra, like battery packs because I knew I was like, I'm gonna take mine this whole time. And then at some point, everything died on me, and I got home at like 11 o'clock, and I was like, I gotta submit it. Like, hey,
Yeah, right. You're right.
yeah,
yeah, no, this week I stayed up until like 5 a.m. and I was like, we're getting this done.
Yes. No.
yes.
Yeah. I'm with you
Yeah,
on that.
And it's even
yeah.
crazy when your time zone changes, and then you're sitting in a meeting, and you're like, oh shoot, I'm on Western or I'm on Eastern, or I'm on Central, and I'm like, you know what, this is bananas. So yeah, last week was really, really tough. So this week I don't have to travel at all. So
That's good.
I'm very excited. So I might be a real student this week. I don't know what I was last week. So
Same though.
Good.
Okay. Well, it was nice seeing everybody's faces.
I was gonna say it was nice to have like a
yeah,
conversation with you guys because like we're the original three. Like if you think about it, like we
yeah,
in this group, we
exactly.
are the original.
Yes. So it's really, really good seeing you guys. I mean, I've enjoyed, critiquing and seeing you guys' work. You guys are both amazing. So I told my wife, I said, I got the best pick out of the whole group. So very excited to
I
see
can't
how all
wait
this
to hang out
ends.
with too. I was like, ooh, I got the people that I've been with for months. Like I
Me too.
Yeah.
I was just like,
to
I
do.
was, I was like, if I get put in a different group, I was like, I was going to email the professor and be like, can you just send me more of these guys, please?
Right. So good stuff. All right, ladies. Well, I bid you all a good night and great work.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
All right. Well,
Bye.
Bye. All right. I don't know how to stop